Alright, let's see. You guys should be able to hear me. Let me go hop in our Discord. Make sure that these guys can hear me down here. Alright, down in that maintenance channel. Should be good. Have to figure out how to get all my screen space together. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit everything on here. I'll just throw this over here. Who cares? Alright. Let's see. Where are we at here, guys? I am doing maintenance for the Professional Linux Users Group. You guys can also see that I've got a chat open, so I guess those guys will be able to hear me in there if they want to. I guess I could. We'll see how the sound goes, but I'm just gonna run it. Let's get some system stuff going. Oh man, get out of here. Let's clean up the environment. So that's what we do on Sunday nights. I frantically write a bunch of college stuff, and then I show up over here and talk to you guys for a little bit, and I'm also down in the Discord in case anybody wants to hop in there and chat with me as well. So let me make sure. It looks like you guys can all see me. Maybe I'll put this. Oh, I don't know. This could be out of the way somewhere over here. I don't know. That's probably out of the way enough for you guys to still be able to talk to me if you need to. Yeah, that's probably fine. Let me open that up. All right, there we go. Okay. I think that's good enough. I can kind of see what's going on over in the Discord, and make that just a little bigger. All right, good. So here we are. We're in the lab environment. Let's check some things. Make sure that we have the environment kind of as we need. Let's do a couple things here. The Jump 02 server is where everybody comes in. Let's see if we have any connections in right now. We don't have any connections in here, so we don't have anybody actually going to any of the back-end servers right now in the environment. So that's fine. So what we'll do here is we're going to touch etc no login. No login, right? And then we're going to sleep for 3,600 seconds. And then we're going to touch, rm-rf etc no login. So what does that do? If I don't touch this system again, if I don't come back here, that's going to create the etc no login so people can't log into the system for right now. It's going to then automatically wait 1 hour, and then it's going to remove it for me so I don't forget it. I could have done that different ways. I could have had that backgrounded. I could have had that as a script. I'm just doing it as a dirty little one-liner because I never prepped for it in this environment, right? So that's ready. Let's come over here. Let's go look at the systems real quick. So we could just bang 970 here, and we can just check all the systems for their uptime. Let's see if they're all available. Kafka's down, we knew that. All the Rocky servers are there, all the Hammer servers there, all the auto servers, and all the target servers. 4, 5, 2, 1. There's our targets. Okay, they're all up. We have one other type of monitoring that we do in our lab environment, which is we go like our logs dashboard, and then we jump over to what is it? I want to say it was the virtualization usage, but I'm probably, is it this one? It looks like this one, but we modified it, so it's not actually this one. This one is some of our internal nodes. It's one that I changed to, I want to call it lab. I want to say I put the word ProLUG Lab in there. Lab monitoring. No, it's not that one. Which one is it? We'll eventually find it. Servers up, down. That's one that we didn't finish building out. It definitely wasn't test for stream. I don't recall it being that. Strictly speaking, we don't need it, but no, that was a Prometheus one that I never finished setting up either. Apparently, I don't remember which one it was. Not a virtualization usage. I never finished building that one out either. I mean, it looks like this one, but that doesn't have all the stuff in it. This definitely doesn't have all of our normal servers in here. Lab. And if we switch that to lab, that is the view that we were using right here. So I guess we were just using this one. We were just doing it with the lab setting up here for our server, for our team. So here's all of our nodes. All of our nodes look like they're good. All of them have been up at a minimum of 1 day. Looks like Auto 2 got rebooted by somebody. Hammer 5's been rebooted. That was probably by me. So things are happening, right? Things are going in the environment. We can see the environment's up, but we are going to reboot all of these servers. We're going to hit them all with a reboot. And the reason we're doing that is because, you know, this lab maintenance, we want to make sure that since nobody's in there and we've locked the labs for 1 hour, we're going to just reset everything and make sure that they come up. Now, we know that the nodes tend to come back up. Let's see, we're going to see them drop over there. They tend to take about 3 minutes to come up, but when we do all of them, they tend to take just a little more than, like probably closer to 5 minutes. So we'll do a sleep and then maybe like a 300, and then we'll do Ansible. And so we'll wait on that. That can go in the background as we're going. And then what I was going to show you guys is I had a request from the guys to do, yeah, see, they're all dead. They're all down. And I had a request from the guys to allow people to do some admin work in here. So people that wanted to hop in and do admin work could. And I think that would be good. My plan to do that would then look like this. We would come over here. We would find one of these servers that has capacity. I think the one that has the most capacity is going to be this bottom one. I think he's got the most capacity on him. Yeah, we're using a lot of capacity. He's probably got enough to make maybe one admin node out here. So we could build one node. This node won't be part of the werewolf cluster. I guess we could technically make it part of the werewolf cluster, and then it could be managed by that. I've thought about doing that, but what we are going to have to do is give it a GUI, a graphical user interface. Now, do we, strictly speaking, need to give it a GUI for my admins to be able to get in and do stuff? Not necessarily. People don't really need a GUI for admin work. You know, most of the time we do everything over the command line. But the reason I wanted to give people that jumped in for admin work the GUI experience is because then they can come up here and they can actually use the Grafana as well. I could give them a Grafana user, and they could actually monitor the environment and see that things are coming back up, and, you know, use the tools that we have available without having. So, okay, technically you can actually port forward things out and reverse shell them out, and then be able to get to any. If you can get access to an environment, you can reverse shell and pull things out. That shouldn't be a problem for most admins, right? But but I want it to be native for them. I want them to have like a workspace, even if they want, where they can put everything in there. So that was kind of my plan on that, as far as putting that in. So I'll probably work on that. And then the other thing, I'm super behind on this, is I do need to finish the Unit 2. Well, the Unit 2 worksheet is done, right? I've got the worksheet done. But I do have to add in the lab. So I do have to build the lab in the lab book and that kind of stuff. So that's like the last thing that I have to do tonight. It doesn't necessarily have to be part of this, but I do kind of need to get that done for everybody. Probably send it over. They're in the writers' room finishing up the writers' stuff, but I wanted to get that set up for them as well. So okay. So anyways, that's where that is. This is where the lab is. All right. Look, Hammer 4 is already back up. He's up, he's using his memory correctly, he's doing all the things. We're going to start to see all the nodes populate here every 15 seconds or so. We're going to see more nodes populate here until we have all the nodes back up in the environment. That'll be good. That'll be a good start for our maintenance. Then we can check over here, so we can move this out over here, right? Just kind of keep an eye on that. Looks like we have Hammer 4 and Auto 3 are responding now. There's Hammer 4. So we'll let those keep coming up. And then over here, this is kind of what I had going on in the environment. So I have written the frequently asked questions for the lab. That is a lab guide that's part of the automation course. And update the reboot process for the lab. We won't do that this week, but I do want it to just, as you guys leave the environment, it automatically reboots. That shouldn't be hard to do. I just need to sit down and write out the logic for it. Let's see. There's more of the nodes coming up over here. Watch those reboot. All right, so we'll call this good as far as the Kanban board goes. That's fine. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on that. Let's get this going here. Let that thing populate up and finish. That should be good. And I'm getting mentions in the Discord. All right, that's good. Okay, so we're over here. These are coming back up. That's going there. It's just a waiting game for a minute now. Just kind of sit here and let that go. Other stuff I've been doing today, I had to do some college stuff, right? Probably Steve, you sent me a connection on LinkedIn. Let me go look. I don't do a whole lot on LinkedIn. I do sometimes. Was it 2 days ago? I'm not gonna dox you. No. I think I found the one. All right, yeah, I can accept that. Normally I just spend a lot of time not doing a lot on there. Okay, wait, are these? They're not all coming back up yet, but they're coming up slow. They're on different nodes too, so you got to remember they're pulling over the network depending on where they're at. So they should be coming up pretty quickly though. We'll give that another minute, right? So just that over to like 60 seconds, right? And we'll let that run. Junior says admin interview coming up. Nice. Are you going to be mostly working on Linux, or are you going to be mostly working on Windows, or have you, like, what do you know about the job? What are you thinking about? If you don't mind me asking. Linux. Okay, nice. And it's mostly an Ubuntu shop. Okay. Yeah, that's a good nice little thing. Over on the YouTube side, Brian said, how's it going? It's going good. Me and the wife went for a hike this morning. It's been raining in Phoenix heavily, so it's like really, really wet in Phoenix right now. Like we try to walk one way, and there's like some flooding down in this little wash that we walked through. Go the other way, flooding down in the wash on the other side. So we come back. There's a cactus that's fallen across our path. Like I posted some pictures up in the Discord about it, but all in all, it's pretty good. I'm just hanging out. Me and the wife spent a good part of the day together. I normally will take a nap and do like a 45-minute nap. That's as long as I can nap. And me and the wife took one today, and I woke up and it was like hours later. It was almost 5:30 here, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go do this college stuff. I gotta go do this other stuff. So that's lots of stuff going on. Maybe I'll mute myself over on the Discord in case people pop in. I don't want people to hear me in both places if they're hanging out. All right, so target nodes are not coming back up, or they're coming up really slow. No, the target nodes are coming up. Okay, they're just taking their time. That tends to be, I don't tend to see them take that long to come back up, so we're gonna give it one more minute, then we'll go hit them all. And then if we need to, we'll go check individually ones there. So probable, Steve, that's awesome, man. Hopefully that all works out. And I know people are, seems like, I don't know, like we get a lot of, I mean, obviously a lot of guys talking about getting Linux jobs in our Discord, but it seems like there's always, something coming up, and I think that's cool. Like I'd say over the years we probably had a few hundred people get into Linux, so that's kind of a cool thing to hear about and find out, and hear people get into different roles and stuff like that. So that's cool. So we try to, I mean, that's kind of the goal of our group, is to get you guys into doing Linux, right? So that's always a thing. So this should it looks like all of them are back. I see all the targets. Yeah. I think all the nodes are going to be back up on this run of the Ansible, so that's good. People got here a little later. You probably noticed, or may not have noticed. What I did was I touched an Etsy no login on P01 Jump 02. So now nobody's able to log in that doesn't have super administrator credentials like root or anything like that. Which, by the way, is nobody in my environment. Nobody can jump into P01, jump 1, not even me as the root user. SSH doesn't allow it. You have to come in through a different method and then become the root user, right? And I did that on purpose. That's a security thing, right? That's a very important kind of consideration. Then it sleeps for an hour, and then it removes that Etsy no login. So while we're doing this maintenance, we made sure nobody was in there, and then we stopped anybody from being able to connect so that we could do our maintenance work. And that's something that over the years I've maintained a lot of systems. And one thing, like, I don't know, like let's take the last college I worked with. My company Redline makes me go and work with different companies, and I kind of drop in and build their HPC teams or whatever. And on one of the teams, right, on this HPC team, we maintained a cluster that had like a few hundred professors and like 5,000 students on it, right? So this big college had a fair amount of students from all over the country. It didn't matter what you did. It didn't matter how much you put it out. It didn't matter if you said, hey, maintenance is over summer at this time, you can't get to the class. It did not matter if you did that. Somebody would not read it. Like you know, it's that whole Pareto rule thing. I mean, you could send messages every week and somebody would ignore them. They would go to their spam folder or something. So my point is, at some point, it's not just like a directive control, hey, don't log into this stuff. Eventually, you got to put a technical control in place, right? Like a technical preventive control to stop users. So that's Outcasted Wanderer. I love that little frog that's like looking around. Me and one of my friends, we used to always send each other these. Anything that we said to each other, we would always send this at the end. Like, is anybody looking around at our bullshit? Like, is anybody believing what we said? So we were always sending like the eyes looking back and forth, and that's what that little frog reminds me of. So, Iqbal said this is just perfect. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, you know, this stuff's useful to you guys or whatever. But that is something, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we joke around about user space, but users are going to use. Users are going to find a way to impress you with their ability to, I don't know, just do weird shit that doesn't fall into your normal expected inputs or outputs, right? So, Secret, how's it going? We are just hanging out. We're working on the lab environment, and the lab environment's up, but I have just cleaned it all up, rebooted it for the week, right? We do like a clean reboot, and they all go back to their, you know, slated stateless node deployments. Let me move this over. Whoops. This over out of the way. I also realized I'm not doing my closed captioning. I could turn on closed captioning. I also didn't record unit. I didn't record my stuff yet. Let's just open up PowerPoint here. What's my PowerPoints? I can turn on the Linux automation one. This one's fine. Just put that in the background so you guys can see the voice stuff. All right. So what we could do in this environment, if we just wanted to build a little test. What is this pop test? What is this thing doing? I literally don't know what the server's doing. Huh. Let's go. I literally don't know what the server is. Whoops. I literally don't even know what this. Somebody must have told me about this pop server. This is a server somebody must have told me about, or somebody must have asked me to build a while ago. I literally don't remember any of this. And then I think we were in here. Let's see what this. I want to see what this little install. What does this little fix want to do? I don't even legitimately don't even remember what I was doing on here. Can I become root? I'm not used to not being root on an environment. So it's based on Ubuntu because it's jammy. But what else? Why? Does anybody remember why we did this? I don't know if anybody remembers. I don't remember. Secret. I haven't done the Unit 2 recording yet. I will do it probably Monday. Because Tuesday I'm going to be busy with a college class. Wednesday I'm going to be busy with a college class and Thursday morning I'm leaving with the wife, and we won't be back until Sunday. So I definitely have to get that in. Oh man, those little eyes are funny. But yeah, what were we doing with this? I don't even remember messing with this. I mean, I remember building this now, but I don't remember what we were trying to do with it. Does anybody? Fisherman, do you remember what we were doing with this pop test? Like, I built this server for something. It looks like I got the pop OS 2204 AMD Intel 54 ISO, so that's the one that we built off of here. It's been up 105 days, so it was 105. It was 3 months and some change ago. Somebody told me about this apparently 3 months ago, Fisherman, and I built this out. I know I did it on stream, but I don't. We don't need to get. Let's just do an update. Let's see what this thing wants to update. How many things does it want to download and update? We'll just look at the metadata first, right? I think we can do like apt list upgradable. Yeah. Oh, so 207 packages. That's not too bad. Let's see what they got for us here. Oh, you gotta type grep in if you want to search for something. What am I thinking? Ah, there's a new Firefly. Okay, I was just seeing if it was doing that. Fisherman, did it work pretty well for you? So, I could convert this into the server that I was gonna build. So I was gonna build a server. It looks like it's DHCP because that's in my DHCP range for my home lab. The lab is normally 192.168.200. My home system is 192.168.11. That's a different network than the ProLUG Labs, right? But this one could still reach over and do maintenance and stuff if people wanted to. You had issues, so you end up switching to Ubuntu. Yeah, Fisherman, I did all of college on Ubuntu. Like when I was much younger, I did all my undergrad on Ubuntu. What was that? Ubuntu 8. It was like Ubuntu 8 back then. I mean, this would have been early 2000s, mid 2000s, like so. Yeah, I think I was just messing around with this for something to do one day. But I could make this one available for people because let's apt install. No, we won't do any of that. We could update it. We could make this, instead of being the pop test server, this could become, if we wanted to, the like the admin login server. I know Kolkus had mentioned, having a place for admins to jump in and do admin work in the environment, and I think that would be good. Yeah, Fisherman, that might have even been why somebody mentioned this a while ago. They were talking about desktops and stuff, and that's why this came up. If I had it my way, I'd probably just build out like a Fedora desktop for somebody. And then the goal would then be, because I have a system that we don't really use in the lab much now, which is our guacamole server. So some of you guys have seen Apache guacamole. This is our internal Apache guacamole. It's not internal, people can reach it. But then once you get in here, let's say you had a username. I think that's my username. Probably not. Probably that. Yeah, and then if you could get to a node, if it was connected, it would drop you directly into the node right through a browser. Now I don't have that set up right now, but not for that node. And I tore down all the other connections, but I could come in here and I can build connections over to nodes, so I can make like a new connection, and we could use SSH if we wanted people to be able to SSH over the browser. But if people wanted like a whole environment, we can give VNC out. And the only reason I would do that again is because SSH and command line is the way that we do all of our admin work, sure. But if I want somebody to be able to come in here and like go to, if I say, hey, monitor this, nobody can monitor this. Well, I mean, again, without doing a reverse shell and forwarding the ports out. You could get this out of our environment if you knew how to do that. It's not super hard. But it would be easier to just jump into a desktop environment and then look at it local, which is what most admins would do. Plus, then you would have you say and people nowadays, a lot of you guys that do this stuff professionally probably use this. It's like a VDI, virtual desktop interface. VDI, that would essentially be what this would become. Would be our VDI for people to jump into the environment and then do whatever they need. I don't even know what the hell's going on with this thing. What happened? Might switch to desktop Linux once Windows 10 reached end of life. Yeah, cool. Because I ended up having to upgrade my system because my system just crapped the bed one day here, and I ended up having to buy a whole new. Like I use a docking station so that I can run all my monitors, and because most laptops nowadays don't have enough monitor ports for me, so I use a docking station. One thing that really pissed me off about it is I have a Dell docking station for this Dell G15 laptop that I have, and it does not provide power. You say, wait, so you have to have power plugged in? Yes, I have to have power plugged in separately, even though it specifically says it runs the power for it. It does not work. It does not work on my G15, so that's one of the things. That's annoying. Yeah, I'm not super... I don't know if you guys have seen, anytime I move my mouse anywhere near the top of this thing, it tries to do that shit to me. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So, what can you do, though, right? I mean, yeah, what can you do? All right, so that environment's done. We've patched the things that we needed to. Well, we didn't really have to patch out the environment because we haven't built new versions of the system. In fact, I don't even know. Let's see. Let's do www.ctl image list. So here's our images in our environment. I don't think there's a tag for time on the images. Like, I don't think Werewolf will tell us. Like, oh yeah, you don't really get an A with image list, but I don't know if it. Let's see the var varlib werewolf. This would be the best. This would be the best way that I could think to see this, if we could, is if this tagged the last build. Let's see. Like if that, because that should be the last time a file's been updated, right? The line there. So let me see. That probably coincides with the last time I changed those. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I think that actually does coincide with the last time I pushed the image build. So I guess that's the best way I can think to see the last time I've updated these nodes, right? And there's a DNF clean all every time they rebuild, so you lose most of that stuff that you kind of see there. So oh, I don't know if I told you guys. I don't think I've mentioned this. So I did my presentations at work the other day on Werewolf. Some of you guys have seen that presentation. And they did a LinkedIn post, and some people saw it. And then the CIQ people that actually run Werewolf, their community outreach manager, messaged me and said, "Hey, I didn't see you on the page for our WG, which is like a Werewolf users group." And she's like, "Would you like to come and talk to our group?" And I was like, "I can come talk to your group sometime." And she's like, "Oh yeah, if you want to do your presentation." She hasn't seen, none of them have seen my presentation. And she's like, "Hey, you want to come to the group?" And I said, "Yeah, if I can share it with my professional Linux users group." And she's like, "Yeah, you can share it with them." So I think I have. I don't know if I actually shared it with you guys. I thought I might have. Let me go look. I'm looking at my LinkedIn to see if. This was what she said last. Oh, let me go look. I want to see if this is. "32 people joined. Second Wednesday, 10 p.m. of each month." So I think that's not this Wednesday. I'll tell you guys what I'll do. I'll link this. And I'll let you guys mess around with whatever it is in the Discord. I'll put it under conferences. I think I'll put it under conferences here. Maybe I did. I don't know. No, I definitely don't want to send all that. It's got too much header information. I'll get in there for you guys. I'll drop it in there somewhere in the Discord. By the way, guys, I sometimes show you guys the Discord. I'll just disconnect. Doesn't look like anybody's hopping in there with me. I'll show you guys over here real quick in case anybody's wondering. Get this out of the way here. We got a bunch of we always have a bunch of events coming up. So we got a bash study group next week. We got the last late night bash study group, and you might notice that there's no next Saturday. There's no security group and there's no automation group. It's because I'm gonna be in Montana with the wife, so I canceled those. But I'll still post the discussion so you guys can get to them early. But then we'll treat the next week as Unit 3. So I'll make sure that that's kind of clear for you guys, and nobody gets behind. There's the writer's room. I know I owe the writer's room a whole bunch of writing and a whole bunch of stuff, but I'll get that going. And then obviously ProLUG Lab Maintenance. That's what we pretty much just got finished, or we're in the middle of as I was doing this stream. I was really just streaming to show you guys kind of like how I would do maintenance. The environment will re-release in, I don't know, 29 minutes or so. This will finish, and then the environment will be back to working for anybody that wants to log in. So currently, if you were to try to log into our ProLUG Lab environment, you wouldn't be able to get in, and that's because this is the planned maintenance time, right? And I could have done that different ways. I could have torched the actual bastion that you guys jump into and just had it be like a screen that then kicks you out or something, but I didn't want to do that. I figured I'd just make it a no login, and then people can't even get in. So, we could just jump. We could just go. You know, we're done. So I could just go like this, and now the environment's back open again, anyways. So now people that wanted to connect in could. So, all right, that's fine. That's fair enough for that. Oh, Iqbal said, what's the point of the dock? The dock is just so like I have all this stuff that connects to my different machines or my different, my laptop here. And the reason I mostly use a dock is because then I can just take this laptop and oh, I do get your point though. Like if it's not going to be for power, what the hell's the dock doing? I agree with that. That actually, but on the plus side, the only thing I have to keep in my laptop bag then is just another power supply. And then I just disconnect this, and I don't have to pull all the cables out. There's only like there's actually only 2 cables into my laptop here, so that's a nice thing, I guess. I think I told you guys too. There was like some wild stuff going on Friday at work, so like I'm interested to see how this Monday coming up here in a few hours starts. It's gonna be interesting. We like switched up the whole management team from the primary on this contract, so now we're the subs on the contract, and we're gonna be dealing with I guess new management. I don't exactly know what they're gonna have us. I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like. Iqbal, you said, why did I pick XCPNG? Convenience. I've been running that for years. It is not the best tool. Like I tell people now, if I were to rebuild the lab, I'd probably use like Proxmox or something. But for me, it works fine. I can still deploy to it. I use Ansible to deploy to it. I can still do everything I need. So it works for me. Yeah, so hopefully that answers the question. I missed the question. I was off doing whatever I was doing, but yeah, so that's really all I had for tonight. However, the rest of my night's going to be reading research, so I don't know how many people want to do that. That tends to bore people to tears. Bores me to tears sometimes, but I am working on my dissertation. Some of you guys know that. About an hour, not an hour, about a year out from finishing that. Systems engineering is the PhD now, and I'm centering in on, some of you guys were around, I was talking the other day, I've switched off of the security. I was doing something around quantitative analytics originally. We're still doing quantitative analytics. That's still the method I'm using, but or the methodology. But what am I thinking here? The topic has changed from around training people, because I don't really want to deal with people if I can avoid it. I just want to deal with systems. So it's going to be around Bastion, securing Bastion systems, and I'm going to do some cool stuff with that. So I think it's going to be cool stuff. So it's going to be full systems engineering. I'm going to be collecting data. In fact, I'm doing my IRB right now, which is like an internal review board for ethically collecting data and all that kind of stuff. If you guys are familiar with any of that stuff, it's all very boring, but it's all stuff you have to do the song and dance and get to put that different hat on your head, you know? Just one more hat to put on your head in the academic world. I tell people all the time, because like I've had quite a few friends ask me why I'm even working on a dissertation. It doesn't help my career any. It's not going to change what I want to do. That's for damn sure. I just want to be an engineer, and I'm already an engineer, and I already do that professionally. So, really, the dissertation stuff is just another checkbox on the admin, like on the academic side of things, you know. If you ever want to go full-time teaching, which I never plan to do, I always just plan on being a part-time visiting professor. If you ever want to go full-time, though, you do have to have a PhD or like a doctor in front of your name, which some of us think is silly, but you know, you got to play the game in the academic world. There's a lot of standing to ceremony and all that kind of stuff that we don't necessarily always care about on the engineering side of things. So there's that. All right. What else do I have in here? We looked at the images. We don't have anything to build in this environment for right now. Looks like we have plenty of space. Let's see what's using all the space in here. Oh, backup's doing our backup. That's good. I forgot about that. We have that little cron running. And it doesn't look like anything else is okay. Make sure nothing's taken up. Just seeing what's using up all the environment. Ah, it's that ISO. How big is that? Yeah, 11 gigs. That makes sense. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else that I need to do on here then tonight. I mean, I guess what I'll probably do is raid you guys over on the Twitch side. We'll go raid over somewhere, and I'll probably go like a little end of stream thing here. I appreciate you guys coming to like kind of a shorter stream on the YouTube side.